Hey guys, 1935. You guys remember that? Troy, you probably remember 1935, don't
I looked it up in a history book one time.
You sure you weren't there?
No.
Well, that's when the king was born, right? Mr. Elvis Presley.
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yes, and that was one poor man. He had a twin that passed during birth, and he grew up in a small town, and by the time he was just out of high school, he was a truck driver for a while. And then
I did not know that.
when he was 19,
Neither.
he walked into Sun Records and recorded a few songs that he paid $4 to record these songs.
Well, there's actually, let's step back a little bit, right, with this twin that you thought died, Mickey Gilley.
Oh, maybe
That
so.
was the twin that actually came out at the same time.
That's right.
Look it up.
There you go. Mickey Gilley. There's another good one right there.
Oh,
You can't put Mickey Gilley and the King in the same sentence.
Came out of the same womb.
Wait, I was 3 days old in Mickey Gilley's bar. I mean, are you serious?
Oh, I didn't go old enough. Okay, let me go. All right, I'll think about it. I'll get another one.
She was born in a honky tonk.
I was born in a honky-tonk.
You were born in the honky tonk?
Well, pretty
Close
much.
enough.
No, Mama was up on
Pretty
the bull,
much.
right? And out shoots Brandi.
They actually asked my mom to be in Urban Cowboy because they spent so much time there at Mickey Gilley's.
One of my favorite movies, by the way.
They
Oh,
did.
your
Sissy.
mama was having some fun.
Yes, she was.
Oh, boy.
She never stopped.
No.
Bud and Sissy.
Bud and Sissy.
Well,
Damn it,
Sissy-
Sissy.
Yeah.
Damn.
We were talking about the king.
Yeah,
King of
let's
rock
get
and
back
roll.
to the
Elvis
King.
Presley.
Dreaming Christmas. Anyway,
Squirrel.
the movie's coming out. But
dwarf.
Elvis Presley, I mean, in Troy, you and I, our age, everybody, that's all our
again,
parents.
I gotta stop you.
No, bullshit. That's all our parents listen to, man.
Yeah.
They-
Well, mine was kind of more of a Motown. Well, you know Motown better than all of us, but I grew up in Detroit, so we had more like, smoky type stuff going on. But to me, early Elvis, it was before my time. You're right. Like the Hound Dog stuff, it's okay. But after that, in his mid '60s to late '60s,
It's
I'm all
okay.
in.
Well, hey, all the
okay.
all the
It's
Motown guys are going,
okay.
what's this white boy doing this?
Are you kidding?
it's all right. Hound
Come
Dog.
on.
That's pretty bad, man. I don't know.
I know. What a dick.
What, do you think he's going to change?
When did
Well.
that happen?
So
Yeah, too late for that.
It's interesting. I mean, Elvis went into the military. He was a Jeep driver for 18 months, came out a sergeant. Basically, he just drove around and had, signed autographs.
And
but-
at that time, right, being in the military is where he met his future wife in Germany, right? Priscilla Presley.
That's correct.
What was
met her in Germany?
What was, yeah.
Yeah.
She was living
I
in
don't
Germany
know
at the
any of
time.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was her maiden name? Ooh, you should know that. German boy.
Brufan? Something
Brufan?
something like that.
Which she's German.
German, yeah. Yeah. But while he was over there, the colonel who was managing him at the time
Wow.
sent out. They had 5 albums that came out while he was gone for those 18 months, and he was at the top of the charts. And when he came back, I think the thing that Elvis hated the most was, in the 60s, he did 27 movies,
Yeah.
musicals,
Yeah.
which were absolutely my favorite movies back then.
Which is where I got to know him, exactly.
Yeah, all of us,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
age, He was the cool cat.
I was like, wait a minute.
And hey, I mean, and the guy was dating chicks like Anne Margaret. I mean,
Gosh, what a babe.
He's doing them all.
Wow.
yeah. So he was the king.
Well, the interesting thing about him, he's the right person at the right time, right? Incredible talent, could play guitar-ish. He knew a few chords, but he sang like nobody else. He was a step past like the what's the mafioso dudes from Vegas, where the Rat Pack guys,
Yeah.
right? He was after them, pretty much, and it was a whole different style.
Yeah, I mean, they were competing right there about the same time. But do you know the reason that he went into Sun Records and what the purpose was to record those songs?
You looking for a meal?
No, he was getting a birthday present for his mother. He was a mama's boy.
Mama.
He big mama boy.
Mama.
Big mama's
Mama was
boy.
a big mama
Mama.
too.
I think the common denominator amongst most of those artists, especially like the youngsters like Elvis, they had so much talent, but you become very famous, but sort of notorious, all in the same note. I think a lot of them got a lot of flack for, kind of a legendary, like, revolutionist, you know what I mean? Like, that started something that was...
And sex is a right word for that,
I mean,
right?
and it was just, it was a thrust of the hips.
You
that
can't
was
be
just,
sexual, right? You
that
had
was,
Pat Boone did not do this, right?
No, absolutely not. But I mean, then that caused, it started, a train of people, the sexual revolution, I guess, on some manner. But he also, got arrested for that. He got in trouble. And he became so famous that he couldn't. I can't even describe what that must feel like.
Well, you got to remember, and you're very right about this, Brandi.
Yeah.
You got to remember this. This is when Johnny Cash was coming out
trying
too.
to cope with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing they played on radio back then was Christian music.
Yeah.
And then to have this guy do the pelvic thrust, that appalled all the older folks.
Children.
In the Christian Bible Belt had no black music. We talked about Motown earlier. They didn't play that.
No.
But they thought Elvis was black. Right?
Absolutely.
Just like Casey and his Sunshine Band. I'm way much further, but it's like you can't play that.
People like Billie Holiday, got arrested many times for singing "Strange Fruit" on stage. There was a lot of that going on, but also the level of fame that happened so quickly. I think being able to cope with that, a lot of them turned to drugs and alcohol, and it kind of
pretty much all of them.
Eventually, eventually became their demise. I mean, you're working 24/7. You have an image to portray constantly.
Well, and think about now too, right? You didn't have social media. You didn't have telephones like we have. You didn't have internet. You had none of that stuff, right? So it was like slow motion, but that it snowballed.
Well, it
was a bigger thing, I think, even because of that.
Yeah.
No, but let's be fair about the drugs and alcohol, guys, because I'm one person that understands that you get on the road. You get on the road. But here's the deal, guys. You're performing one night somewhere until the concert ends, and then we hit 4 or 5 nightclubs that are paying us per song, and then you're back on the bus, and then you got to be at a drive time, so you got to be at a radio station at 5:30 in the morning.
Uppers and downers, uppers and downers.
Yeah,
uppers and downers.
so you're exactly you don't know.
Actually, back then, producers, agents, all of those people were actually pushing this on all of the actors.
They were drug dealers.
And actresses. Yeah. Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland. I mean, you had to have a certain image, and you had to be a certain size, and you had to, had to be on all the time. It was very pressured, back then.
And there's a biopic coming out, right? There's a new biopic, coming out with Elvis.
Right.
Brandi, what about it?
Australian director.
That's interesting.
I know. I think a lot of the actors are Australian. What's that kid's? Austin Butler.
Okay.
He really hasn't been in a lot. The biggest movie he was in was, I think he had a small part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But otherwise, like, he was in, he's been a child actor. He was in, like, Disney shows.
But don't you think that's a good call, right? To play Elvis, I don't think you can have, like, a big name actor.
I mean, I watched the trailer. It looks like the kid did a great job.
Yeah.
He's American.
Right? Yeah.
Tom Hanks is in it. He's got a big part. He's
Parker.
American. I mean, there's maybe 3 or 4 Americans, but most of them are Aussie actors, which I find interesting.
I might have a little crush on Elvis, but I just don't think you're going to find a guy as freaking charismatic and as good looking as Elvis was. You know what I mean? They tried, but I don't think they hit it.
I mean, okay, so who would be your second choice?
I don't have.
Not that
That's the
we've
whole
seen
point.
the movie,
I don't have
so
one.
we really don't know, like, how great this kid is or not. I mean,
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a pretty good rating.
Yeah. And like you said,
Trailer
Tom
looks
Hanks
good.
plays.
Hanks is in it.
Plays Colonel Parker. Wasn't Colonel Parker an asshole? Hammer?
Well, Colonel Parker was all business.
Right.
That's the deal.
But almost too much, right? I think the needle went a little bit beyond 100%.
Yeah, it did by far. But he was, he saw what he had. And here's the deal: Sun Records is the one that signed Elvis, and then they sold that deal for $40,000 to RCA, and RCA is the one that pushed it and got Colonel in there and the whole bit.
Gotcha.
But it was all about that dollar, right?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, the earlier songs I didn't like because they were. I'm sorry, but they were just what they were. It's when he started falling in love. It's when he got more emotional about things, right? With Priscilla and stuff.
I
Right.
like
That's
Fools
where the good
Rush In.
shit
It's a
come
great
out, right?
song.
Kentucky Rain. Ooh,
Yeah.
Caught in a Trap. Bring it on. That's
Well, you
the
know
shit
what
I
his
love.
biggest
Suspicious
song
Minds.
was?
It's not called Caught in a Trap.
What is it called?
Suspicious Minds.
Suspicious Minds.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
That's all I
but
could come up with.
us guys call it caught in a trap. Just
We
saying.
can't go on together.
Yeah, caught in a
With
trap.
With
Suspicious
suspicious minds.
But what was his
Just
number one
starts
song
with
of all
that.
time?
Yeah.
What was the number one song of all time?
Hound Dog?
No, I
No.
think that was
No?
number 3.
Was it in a movie? Which one?
I would imagine that it was in a movie.
was one of the
I'd
movie
imagine
ones.
it'd be Jailhouse Rock.
Oh, was it?
Well, it says here that That's All Right.
That's all right.
That's
Mom.
not
That's
right.
all right
Because that
now,
was actually.
You know what? That's all right.
I don't know. I'll look at another.
I would have figured Jailhouse Rock, but I mean, That's All Right was cool.
He did That's All Right. There was a mix that came out, I think, with Tom Jones. Ooh, what a good shot. That was
Listen,
really good.
now there's another guy that's, man, my favorite, Tom Jones. Talk about swinging your hips. I mean,
yeah.
that guy drove
That
the
guy's a piece
chicks
of ass.
crazy,
He
man.
had more panties. And he carries a pouch, too. My sister was introduced
pouch?
to his pouch at one
Well,
time.
you know, what was the,
what?
what was the lady that
Swing him,
played?
slick him on the hang down.
Oh, Elvira. Elvira goes,
Oh, she's rad.
she's funny. She goes, that boy ruined my coochie.
Yeah. No, he's known for his
She did
his
not
prodigy.
say coochie. That is not a word that I can
Coochie,
see
coochie,
Elvira
Prada,
saying. I'm pretty sure.
What do you think she said then? Come on, lay it on me.
My
I don't
curtains
know.
are open.
I would imagine that she would have said fucking anything other than coochie.
I no longer
I
have
mean, that
blackout
does not
curtains.
seem like something that Elvira would have said.
Yeah, well, you don't know her.
Oh, yeah, you don't know her.
I don't know. It says Heartbreak Hotel.
That would make sense. Which,
Heartbreak
of course,
Hotel.
was a movie
Yeah,
by title of.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he was a stud.
Yeah, he said he was. I saw him in an interview, a million years ago, probably in '75 or '74, where he said he was so burned out from doing those movies, he just could never. There's no way.
Yeah, and you saw he did. There was a special on him a few years back, and it was all old footage. It was the real stuff, right? And he's in the back of a limo leaving one of his shows, and he's like, I mean, he's got his Elvis thing going, but he was making no sense whatsoever. He has glasses on. He didn't know where he was. He was just being, like you said, shuffled off to the next hotel, next show, and I think he died like 2 years after that.
Yeah, he died at home in
Had a heart
Graceland.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pushing a little
Did
too
he-
hard.
Did he really die in the toilet?
He
He
did.
died on the shitter.
He did.
Yeah.
Is that right? I mean, I don't know. I always tend to maybe think that a lot of these, like the Mama Cass choking on a fucking sandwich, or him dying on the shitter. I feel like that's so fucking mean. I mean, like,
Life happens, man.
you become one of God's favorites, like, throughout your life, and then God's like, you know what?
He's got the final word in the
Joke's on
situation.
you, buddy.
Hey, God said that's far enough, man.
Yeah, you've done pretty well. How about dying on a
Yeah.
shitter with your bag hanging
Yeah,
out?
you're done, baby. No, but I mean, you're taking so much meds. I mean, and it's not uncommon for people to actually expire on the toilet. I mean, that's quite common.
Is that a thing?
It is because the meds that people are taking, it
What,
happens.
the opiates? Why they're pushing too hard because they
Opiates,
know they're
yep,
coming
exactly.
Pushing too hard on
out? See,
me.
opiates are a motherfucker. We could have a whole conversation about that.
We could indeed.
God.
So when's this biopic? Is that how you say it?
When is it coming
When's it
out?
coming out?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Let me look.
I want to see it. I'll go watch it.
I would love to see
Yeah,
it.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Well, like I said, if you pick my top 10 favorite artists of all time, he's right below Glenn Campbell. You may be surprised at that statement, but
I like Glenn Campbell.
he
I'm
was
a
out.
fan.
I met
Oh,
Glenn.
the guitar
I met
player.
Glenn a number of times.
Have you?
Great guy.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. When does the movie come out?
Matter of fact, my brother-in-law took
Oh.
my dad to meet Glenn Campbell.
June 23rd.
June 23rd.
June 23rd,
June 23rd.
2022. Biopic. What's it called? Just Elvis Presley or
It's
Elvis?
just called Elvis.
Called Elvis.
Elvis. Yeah.
Hey guys, go see Elvis.
Hey guys,
Go see Elvis.
go see Elvis.
But if you're gonna go see Elvis, go to Graceland. He's buried up there. No, but so it comes out the 25th,
23rd.
23rd.
Yep. June 23rd.
So we're gonna have a party at Brandi's house. We'll all meet up there, and then we'll all go to the movie theater together. What do you guys think?
Caught in a
Let
trap.
us know.
at Brandy's house.
Catch you
I'll make
next time.
peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Peanut butter and ham sandwich,
Mama.
great. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.